Guys, welcome back to week 42 of the Skulls of Shackles Adventure Path from the Pathfinder role-playing game. I am Arthur Perkins, aka APGamingREAL, and I am joined once again by my four wonderful players, including Dom, broadcasting from a new location. You can see he's still getting set up. So we'll check in with everyone else first and find out how they're doing this week. Rich, how are you doing this week?
Um, well, I haven't changed too much since last night when we talked last, Arthur, on your stream.
That's true.
I did manage today a little bit earlier to finally get my review out for Firewatch on my channel,
I assume
and
it was
looks
amazing.
I loved that game. I really did. For being a very narrative-driven story game, they hit every key point exactly the way they should have. The voice acting was top notch. The story was really strong. It was just a damn good game, and it looks like people have finally realized that I posted it because it went from 3 views to almost 50 inside the last 15 minutes. So,
Good honor.
aside from that, I've been boning up a lot on stuff for Star Citizen because they're having the Alpha 2.2 coming out soon. So I got to get ready to dive into that and to be able to do a video on that one. And been studying up for everything else. So busy weekend, but it's been pretty awesome so far.
I'll tell you what. I don't know much about Star Citizen, but I do know that Elite Dangerous. Oh no, we lost Dom. We'll get him back in a second. It'll happen. Elite Dangerous. They put out this video of like 50 people warping into the biggest star in the galaxy or something like that, and I was like, I played EVE Online, and they used to have thousands of people on the same grid. 50 people moving in slow motion is not entertaining to me.
Not really, but for what they were doing, that's a pretty impressive event with the level of graphics and everything else. That was actually kind of for a PC gaming geek like me. It was pretty impressive. And Elite Dangerous is a pretty awesome game. There's no denying that if you're a fan of the space sim genres.
All right. Adam, how are you doing this week?
Pretty good. I took actually Friday off for the first time in a long time, and I ended up working a couple hours. But I started binge watching that show Eastbound and Down, which is like an HBO show, and I laughed
I've never
my
heard
ass
of
off.
this. What is this about?
Oh my gosh, Eastbound and Down. It's a short series. It's 4 seasons, but like each season's like I don't know, 7 episodes and 30 minutes. But it's an actual comedy that has very serious undertones about like um, depression and just kind of like working yourself out of a rut. But it's hilarious. It's not like your typical slapstick crude comedy, although there's a lot of that too. So I've been binge watching that pretty much all weekend, and got some home improvement projects done, which it's like you read online or you're like, oh yeah, that'll take 2 hours at the most, and it's like, no, it'll take half a day or not more. So I installed a closet organizer for my wife and then my son as well, and I was like, why is this so hard? Why is it taking me so long? But hey, it got done, and I feel good about it. So now every day they can wake up and be like, oh, here's all my stuff, all organized and nice, and not all crammed in a one type of rail system. So yeah, that was the weekend. Eastbound and Down and closet organizer installation.
Cool. Excellent. Craig, have you car stuff? Any car stuff? I mean, obviously we want to hear about all the things, but the car thing, there's an audience dedicated solely to you in cars, so
Talk about all the things. Um, I've been spending a lot of time working on other people's stuff, and I haven't been able to do a lot on mine, so I don't have a lot of car talk to go. I got some new coilovers for the front of the truck, and I got a complete wire and harness. 12 circuit, I think, wire and harness to put in, and I'm probably going to start on those next week, so looking forward to it. That's about it. I guess for all the new folks on the stream, we're talking about. I've got a 1987 Chevy S10 with a 413 cubic inch small block that's pretty tricked out. I haven't dynoed it yet, but it's in excess of 550 horsepower with a normally aspirated engine, so it's pretty beefy.
So
Anybody that understands car.
As a non-car guy, what's the benefit of restoring an old car and pimping it out as opposed to just buying like a brand new, I don't know, top of the line with all the fixings like SUV? Like what's the pride? What's the benefit gratification that you get as opposed to like, someone just picking up the new?
Well, I'll sum that up for you. I met a guy who was bragging about his brand spanking new. I'm not going to call out a car name because everybody's going to get offended about whichever one it is. But he just drove up.
I'll call it an Escalade. I'll call it a brand new Escalade.
Nah, it's okay. It's not important to the discussion. He wheels up and he's all, oh yeah, this just screws thing, whatever. I said, man, I saw one of those just like that day. It was gorgeous, but I could not stop looking at the lady behind the wheel. And he goes, why is that? I said, because it was this great big heavy set woman with this huge wart on the side of her nose. Anybody can buy that car. And that was the point. Anybody can buy it. You cannot buy the one sitting in my garage. Period. I made it. I literally tore it down to the ground, stripped everything off the frame, wire brushed, painted, powder coated the whole frame from the ground up. It's a brand new truck with, a body sitting on top of it. So you'll never see another one like it. That's it.
All right.
Plus it pulls front wheels off the ground, and that, your Escalade's not going to do that. So. So other than that, not a whole lot going on here. We, of course, the folks in the game know more of the story, but yeah, a lot of family stuff going on. We've had kind of bad times around here lately, but other than that, enjoying busting some heads and driving some ships.
All right. Well, Dom, how are you doing this week? And might I add, people are noticing your Steven Universe shirt.
I say thank you to the people. I have been having a very interesting week. I had to discipline my god kid this week. And it's true. It does hurt you more than it hurts them. And then she got me sick because he coughed all over me. And I've been working off this cold for the last 5 days.
That's rough.
Oh, no. I couldn't go to work on Thursday because every time I touched something, my body ached. And then I had to go to the car dealership again. And when I actually bumped into the bush, it was all the prickly stuff. It was like, it hurts so much. Why does the sunbeams hurt?
Yes, the light of the sun also hurts me, but that's only because I spend 12 hours a day underground.
The good news is I got my new bed. My room's tore up, but I got my new bed. I'm like super close to the computer now. It's like over there with all my stuff on it.
Let me ask, and I'm going to sound like a super elitist, but what is the thread count on those sheets?
I don't even know because I got them for free from my mom.
All right, I'll accept that. That's a good answer.
Because, like, I got a new bed, Mom, and my old sheets don't fit. Oh, here you go, son. And I was like, you're awesome, Mom. Today, we put the computer together yesterday. Everything's working fine. I brought it home today, like, at the last minute. I was like, you know what? I'm about to plug it in and play some D&D on it. And for some reason, it's not showing the image on the screen. So I had to go back to my laptop real quick. And I'm sad now. And also, when I was bringing the bed over, one of these bungee cords snapped and it went flying off the top of the Jeep. So I had to stop. Well, lucky for me, I was only 2 blocks from the friend's house that I got it from. So I just moved it the corner hit the pavement and bounced into the grass. The second mattress bounced in the grass. So I just stacked them in the grass and just sat there. And this, retired veteran came by and was like, hey, Sonny, I got something for you. And he's like, oh. And then he gave me some clamps that I just clamped it down. It was like, thank you, sir. It's like, if we ever meet again, my name is, Daddy Johnson. And I'm like, okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Like, this is the second time that
Nice.
I had problems that a veteran just came by. I was like, let me help you out, Sonny.
Okay. That was
Just don't forget to
unusual.
pay it forward when you get the chance.
Of course, I have people that just walk in my house in the middle of broadcast, so what do I know?
And give you stuff.
Yeah, give me stuff. Look at that
Oh, yeah.
humidifier.
Glory being knocked at it. Give me a sec.
I've had an interesting week with so many shows being canceled, and one of my players that's in a lot of those shows in a different country, it's been hard to keep the regular show going. And then Friday, I was so crippled by my exercise that I was literally just like, I'm going to just not broadcast tonight. And then I was drinking, and then Swargula was like, yo, man, jump on my show. And I was like, no. And then 30 minutes later, he was like, come on. I was like, fine, whatever. It ended interestingly.
I'm talking about people love you, Arthur.
I was on an open call with a bunch of Roll20 streamers last night, including Sid Alpha here. We were playing Jackbox Party Stream, and that was amazing. We talked about so much cool stuff, and I think we came up with an idea for like 4 new campaigns. And everyone was just like, yeah, awesome. I completed filming of AP Cooking Meal. It is in the works. It will have its own theme song written by our community's own Zircon5, aka Virgil Evansher. I am thinking of singing to it. It's going to sound like AP Cooking Meal, AP Cooking Meal, something like that. I may just leave his original guitar work intact without adding my voice over it. We'll see. We'll see. As you may know, if this isn't your first night watching this, we are entering the final arc of this show. Pathfinder Adventure Paths are 6 books long. This is the 6th book. The audience and the players have both said that they did not enjoy watching the fleet combat. In general, the dice rolls were pretty terrible on the player's side, and they got completely crushed. But it wasn't bad.
To be fair, though, that wasn't the system's game. That was just rolling.
That was just bad rolls. But the system itself doesn't really pop. Like a lot of the Pathfinder one-off systems, it's not.
Granted, it's a lot better than the
ship combat.
Ship combat is definitely better than the army combat because
army combat's not great either.
Terrible. And the caravan is like so complicated to do stuff. It's like you gotta do this before you do that, and worry about this and that.
The caravan's like making a 5th character. So, all of the little side things in Adventure Pass, sometimes they work out, but sometimes they don't. I don't think this one's gonna work out. So we're gonna skip that. And there's some storyline stuff that the Adventure Path assumes happens that did not happen during this campaign. And so this particular run of Skulls and Shackles will be shorter than the normal run. I don't know how many weeks are left. It's impossible to predict. But there is good news. On the far end of this campaign, we will be starting a new Dungeons & Dragons 5e campaign with a number of folks. I think Rich has agreed to be in it, and we've got a couple more people. It's going to be, I think, more highly produced than anything I've done before, so I'm super excited for it. But don't worry. You may see some of these other faces here. Craig, Adam, Dom. Dom's in a whole bunch of stuff for me. He's also joining Jade Regent. Craig's there, too. I'll talk to Adam after the show about what we're going to do after this. Jade Regent also ending at some point soon, but I'm hoping to keep Craig and Dom on afterwards. We'll see. So, the good news. Things will keep happening, and everyone you love will stay around forever and never die or grow old.
See, Arthur actually had us sign contracts to which he maintains possession of our souls regardless of what happens.
Of course. So. That sounds exactly like something I do. So that is introductions. Let's get to the beginning of Book 6.
Cross my finger, it's not combat because I'm still trying to open up my thing.
So, rumors of a Cellist sympathizer among pirate lords have been whispered for years in the Shackles. But until Captain Barnabas Harrigan's recent capture by the Chellish Navy, the rumors were simply that. Indeed, the existence of these rumors may well have compelled Harrigan to take his chances surrendering his ship when the Wormwood was captured. As Harrigan's luck would have it, the person to whom he surrendered was none other than Druvalia Thrune, Admiral of the Chelish Navy and member of the ruling house of the family of Cheliax. Admiral Thrune had been searching for a way to increase her standing and power in the Chelish government. With the capture of her newest prisoner and greatest rival, she conceived of a plan. The Shackles have long vexed Cheliax. As long as this pirate confederacy existed, it has made travel along the west coast of the Gurundi continent hazardous. But the alliance with Sargava and its role in that nation's successful bid for freedom from Chelish rule is an insult to Cheliax's colony and its pride that has festered for decades. Javalia Thrune knows that the person who can successfully lead a strike against the Shackles and bring the Hurricane King and Port Peril under his or her heel will earn not only great prestige and fame, but enough political power to rise to great heights in the Chelish government. As you will recall, last episode, Captain Lord Admiral Pirate Scourge finally ended the threat of Captain Barnabas Harrigan, heretic, traitor, and pirate, forever, and together with his loyal comrades, Laris, Aces, and Marcus, have captured Harrigan's Garnet Island and freed all of its people up to begin the fight against the Chelish Navy, even now using some form of foul, infernal magic to travel through the enormous, world-spanning hurricane known as the Eye of Abendango. And I think the first scene that we see is a man with like a bird skull, an enormous bird skull, as a hat, and some sort of like bone dangling down his face in like long bead lines. Kind of druidic armor, but it's clear he's some form of illusionary wizard as he's creating this flat screen projection of the exact same thing that we saw at the beginning of the last episode, of 8 squadrons of Chelish warships appearing one after another, driving directly out of the Eye of Abendango with no regard for either the nearby current of the whirlpool or the weather. And then the thousands of flying devils that then accompany it, the beating of wings and the blocking of the sun from their immense horde that they've gathered. And as the picture cuts out and the man cuts off this illusion, we are in the familiar location of the Pirate Lord's Council in Fort Hazard. And this is the central command of all of the Pirate Confederacy of the Shackles. It is packed. There has never been this many pirate lords in attendance in the many times we visited this chamber, and each of them has brought all of their free captains and attendant officers. And it's completely filled up. Even Scourge's table is not large enough to handle all of those who now swear allegiance to him. And as the Hurricane King, Kurdak Bonefist, rises from his chair and with his magical lich-given fist holds up his pistol to fire a shot into the air, we have the woo of a flashback scene beginning, and we cut back to 5 days ago when you left Garnet Island and began racing with all speed toward Port Peril and with it Fort Hazard in order to warn all the people of the Shackles that the Chelish were coming by sea. I just want to, with all the epic stuff, I just want to throw in by sea there at the end. And the scene begins with a rather unfamiliar looking gentleman. We've only seen him on the TV camera twice before. His name is Captain Alistar Sanchez. It seems every time he shows up, he has more guns strapped to him. Last time we saw him, he had like 8 pistols strapped to him in that Boondock Saints style. Now he's got 2 rifles strapped over his back as well, and a shotgun like mounted underneath his wrist. And he's walking with Pirate Lord Scourge, and he's saying, "Now, you see here, Lord A. Scourge, I I know that we have a partnership going, but as you know, my backers from Alkenstar Gunworks helped fund the recovery of your here vessels here, and, you know, you needed to restock all these, so it wasn't cheap bringing all this stuff back up from the bottom of the ocean. It's going to cost you about 100,000 gold pieces. I assume you can pay that up front, right?
Well, maybe not right now, but we will certainly make good.
Okay, well, how much can you pay right now?
I will have to check with my exchequer of accounts at the moment.
Okay, then. All right, you get back to me on that, and, you know, you can open a credit account with Alkenstar Gunworks. I'm working on getting you exclusive access to their complement of firearms. I understand that might be something that might interest you, you know, adding a bit of cannons to this here ballista throwing machine.
Cannons would be marvelous. Yeah. Do they work when they get wet?
Well, you know, we're working on that. You know, we got the best alchemists in the world working on that kind of stuff.
Ah, okay.
Marcus is just walking by, shaking his head. Cannons.
So, yeah, so he's like, yeah, cannons. One day, every man in the world will be able to do what you can do, my sorceress friend. They'll be able to shoot firestorms and take out dozens of men with grape shot. It'll be amazing, don't you think?
And I shall enjoy that day when all of you idiots with your contraptions manage to kill yourselves all off.
So he takes it as a compliment and just like nods and adjusts one of the rifles over his shoulder. It's like, I can't wait for the killing to start. Gonna make so much money. Woo-wee! All right. I'm parched. I'm gonna go get some lemonade below decks.
How loud are these cannons? Because is it akin to thunder or lightning? Because I like such sounds.
So, yeah, he like wraps his arm around your shoulders, Laris, and says, now you come with me, little lady. I got a lot to discuss. I know you're a thunder magician. We'll talk about that.
Excellent. Oh, I forgot to mention I did collect Barnabas Harrigan's head, if that was possible.
Yep. Nope. That's the thing you can do. I mean, remember, he died jumping 30 feet out a window and landing face first.
Yes.
You have a head, but it looks a lot like a split tomato.
Well, I was basically going to clean up and polish the skull, and so I will be basically talking to this Barnabas in first person.
His jaw is not intact.
Well, just whatever's remaining.
Very much of his skull would be intact.
Yeah.
I will cast mending to actually have a piece.
Okay, all right. You're putting the skull back together.
Yeah. I was actually going to say we can do mending.
Okay. Can we have that scene happen after your discussion with Alistar Sanchez?
Sure can.
All right. So maybe he takes you down to your quarters. Like, it looks like he's walking to his like stateroom, and he just keeps going past it and goes to your officer quarters, and just invites himself in and like pours a glass of like ice cold lemonade from one of your pitchers.
Sure.
And he's just like, whew, all right, listen. You have no idea how hard keeping that act up is up there. As a fellow performer, I'm sure you know what that's about.
I'm very impressed. You had me fooled.
Well, you know, someone's got to sell the firearms, and no one talks like that in Alkenstar, right? It's called the Grand Duchy of Alkenstar, not the Idiots Brigade of Alkenstar.
Well, your name is renowned throughout the Shackles, and I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. What would you like to ask me?
Well, you know, we've been having a lot of trouble here and abroad selling these firearms. The concept is solid, but we need a bit of work to be done. We're especially having trouble breaking into the Varisian market. I was thinking that someone of a mixed Parisian Shoanti background like yourself might be able to aid us in doing something like that.
I do like that offer. I am far from my homeland on a kind of a personal quest, but as a worshipper of Desna, my travels take me everywhere, and sometimes they will, and I hope they do, take me back home. And I would like to bring my clan and others, you know, artifacts and current technology of today.
That's good. That's good. Now, I've got here a pamphlet, and he pulls out a pamphlet, and it's like, Shoanti and you, how firearms can improve your life. And it's a very good rendition of, it's like you are on the pamphlet, and it's you doing like your dance around the totem, and there's like undead spirits flying everywhere, and you've got 2 pistols out, and you're like shooting off camera. He's like, we'd like the right to use your likeness and the legend of you as a Thundercaller and a Shoanti hero in order to sell our goods to certain individuals within Varizia.
Well, I'd love to expand the trade, but as you see, my captain needs to come up with quite a bit of coin to repair the fleet and gather his support. So you may use my likeness in exchange for a royalty, if whatever the royalty term is back in that day.
What kind of terms are you looking for?
We'll call it, I don't know, like 2 plunder a month or 1 plunder a month. I'm not sure what the...
2 plunder a month? So he like looks around and he's like, okay, I can agree to that. I mean, are you sure? I feel real bad cheating someone like you. I mean,
I was going to say,
we're business
I'm not in the room,
here.
but that sounds low for me.
I got to be honest, I was willing to pay like 10,000 gold pieces for something like this.
You see Scourge like walking on the deck, it's like my force is tingling.
Ow, my greed, ow.
Let's split it down
that?
in the middle. You're doing my country a favor by empowering it with arms, and we'll call
I
it
want to be real clear here. I am not selling arms to a specific government in Varizia. Certain individuals may be purchasing them for private enterprises, which may or may not be of a legal nature. Have you heard of the Zarni?
I think that we can funnel some of these arms to throughout the nation, but with being a nomadic tribe, we can also set up, let's just call them mobile mercenary groups that would facilitate the sale of arms. But
so he like takes a seat in one of your chairs and sits back and says, let me understand. In exchange for 2 plunder a month, basically, you want me to sell guns to the Shoanti people directly and use them as third-party distributors of our firearms in order to facilitate freedom throughout the region.
Exactly.
That sounds great to me.
2 plunder is really cheap for a deal like that for him.
My character has very little business
idea.
sense, not trained in sense motive, just
looking
for a good deal for her people. And
well, yeah, that's the thing. This deal is great for Laris. It's not so great for the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
So he like pulls out a contract. It's got a bunch of pre-written documentation. He just starts filling stuff in. And then at the end, he just writes in, like, sale of goods directly to a Shoanti militia of good standing, freely provided of a base set of armaments. And it's just like, sign here.
And she looks at it. She's like, if I'm going to be advertising these goods, is there a discreet firearm for a lady that, during times of trouble could use for the self-defense?
So he just like looks at his own clothing. He's like, is there something in particular you're looking for?
I was thinking, I don't know if they have this technology developed, but like what do you call them, the Derringer, like just for style points, like the little baby.
Yeah, the little like one-shot pistol.
Yeah.
So if you ask him for like a little one-shot ladies pistol, he's like, well, I don't have anything like that. I do have something like this. And he pulls out like this enormous, like, Desert Eagle looking thing that still only has one shot. He's like, we don't market gender politics wise.
Sure.
We just make one size of gun, men, women, children. Races with 3 or more genders.
So she takes the gun, but she probably thinks the barrel's the handle, and so she like points the handle at him, and like
No, he's so yeah, he like corrects you. He's like,
yeah.
now you just point it in this direction, like this, and you pull back that handle right there, and you pull that object, and you'll don't do it now. There's only one shot in there.
Got it. So this end out. And then, do I have to do anything else to it? Like, do I have to pull anything or put anything in this barrel?
Nope, you should be good. Everything's
Okay.
already included in there with our new patented caseless ammunition technology.
So she's looking for a place to, like, put this thing, and she's, like, looking down.
Nope. That's not a direction you should be pointing that. You should always point it away from yourself and others.
Is there a particular sheath for this? Because I'm not exactly...
he starts like unhooking his gun belt. He's like, "Well, sure, just take mine. You plunder a month, you can have whatever you want."
So she may take the mysterious stranger after this just for effects. But she
man, mysterious stranger, that'd be really good for you.
And so she takes it, she looks at it, and then she's like, gets the holster, she puts it in front, puts it like, fiddles with it then like across her chest, and then probably just like thinking about that, I mean like, and switches it back to where she can pull it from behind her waist, from basically right above her back. So it takes her a while to get like acclimated to it, but eventually she gets it. She's like, then she signs the contract with like very flowery signature with like maybe some lightning bolts or something, and she smiles.
You cross your T's with lightning bolts.
Yes.
Laris Thundercaller.
And she just thinks that this is like a wonderful, transaction.
All right. Do we want to cut to you repairing the skull of Barnabas?
Oh,
Carey?
yes.
All right, let's do that.
Before, so as he's like walking out, she like just turns, and there's like newly polished skull, and she says, "Barnabas, what do you think of that? I'll be helping my people become a real force in our nation. Yes, they are scary at first, with the skulls, yes, but now they'll become a force to be reckoned with throughout the entire country. Yes. What? You would like some wine?" And she pours some wine and like offers it to him. Like, here you go.
Dick move.
So are you actually casting Speak with Dead to get an answer, or are you just being super creepy?
I don't know Speak with Dead. I should have taken that though.
All right, so you are speaking with Dead, but it's literally just you talking to it.
Yes, I'm literally talking with him. I am wearing his armor. I've got his sword. I've got his like little shield, even though I don't really plan to use it too much. And so I'm basically, just conversing with him.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, to confirm, you are wearing his Howling Skull armor?
I am wearing his Howling Skull
excellent.
armor. Nice. And I've got a new tattoo on my back that has like Laris Heart Barnabas, and it's actually a magical tattoo that gives me like basically poker resistance.
Wow. Okay. It's like he was your lover in life, except you only met him once.
I just met him once, and
before
that's all.
He jumped out a window and died.
And killed him.
Yeah. I want to cut to aces. I think Harrison, your swamp druid friend who helped raise this fleet from the watery grave, is hanging out with you in the crow's nest and is just like, "Hey man, like, you want some black kelp beer?
Are you going up to drink?"
Listen, man, when you're an elf, you like age at a different rate. And besides, is there really an age that you're old enough to drink? Shouldn't you just allow nature to decide these things for you?"
You see me look at him like, you know what? You're all right, kid.
Besides, as part of my raising all of these ships from the ground, I made Black Kelp Beer the official distributor of alcohol on the island.
You know what? You're even better now.
Oh,
Did you
that's
see me
not
take
right.
a swig?
So yeah, he like
big
pulls
swig.
out a canteen and just uncorks it, and this foul black liquid starts pouring out of it, like fermented kelp.
As
That's
soon as
actually
Marcus-
legally a crime against dwarves, right there.
You
There
see
will
me
be hell
like
today.
spark a little bit of flames with my magic to like heat it up. Yeah, it's better warm.
Oh,
I
so
prefer
much
it
fiber.
chilled, man. You just gotta chill out.
Oh,
Anyway, is this what you do up here? You like hang out and look at stuff from the top of a tall, I don't know, ship tree? Is that what they call this thing?
Usually I'm doing math and accounting, but for some reason this week I just been under the weather.
That sounds super boring, man.
Yeah, the boring jobs is the hardest ones to do.
All right, listen up, bro. You think these guys need anything else for me? I mean, I got to get back to keeping the balance of nature, you know? It's really hard.
Yeah,
Plus, you guys have, like, dinosaurs and stuff, and if I don't take care of them, they're basically going to die out, and that'd be super sad.
Oh yeah, how's the baby dinosaur doing anyway?
It's doing pretty okay, I think. You know, it's like drinking water and eating food, so that seems like a good sign. You know,
so it's not
I
one of
tried to
those
talk
shedding.
to the spirits, but it turns out there's not a lot of dinosaur spirits to talk to. So I'm like working with some lizard spirits.
Fair enough. How's the Cyclops doing? They're kind of balanced a little bit.
Oh man, the Cyclops, they're like gone, bro.
What? They're gone?
Yeah, they went back beneath the earth.
Really?
Yep.
Hey, we don't have to keep paying them.
That's odd.
Yeah, they mentioned like the end of days or something. I didn't really take them seriously. They seem like a bunch of religious nut jobs.
You know what? They are. But I need to check out that ruin because there's a lot of interesting stuff over there when I get a chance.
All right, that's cool. All right.
Okay. Keep hope alive, man.
So he
Don't
like
go-
jumps off the edge of the ship mast, and right before he hits the water, he turns into a flying fish and just starts like zooming along.
You see me like I don't remember how to do that anymore. Weird.
Oh shit, it's a kid on camera. InstantRapAirhorn.com.
Marcus watching at the druid fading off in the disc going, I'm almost glad I didn't kill him.
Me too. You see me shout that from the top of the thing.
And so the flashback ends, and we're back in the council chamber of the Shackles Pirate Council in Fort Hazard, within the capital city of Port Peril. And the Hurricane King, Kurdak Bonefist, takes his enormous magical bone fist, and with it the gun that is permanently attached to it, and just starts shooting it in the air. And everyone was already silent, but he's shooting it in the air and just shouting, "Silence! Silence!"
just so he can. Just because he can. Yeah.
And after about four shots, you see like a little ghostly green smoke come out the end of it that's clearly unnatural, and lowers his hand and picks up his drinking mug and takes a quick swig. And after all that shouting, taking his time, just glop, glop, glop. So we're here, called to order by Pirate Lord Master Scourge. I believe you have something to say to this esteemed council of gathered nobility here.
For my own edification, the other proof that we found when we ransacked the tower, other than the stuff that was in the bag of holding, what else did we get, Arthur? Nope, lost you. No sound.
No, that's me. It's me. I was coughing and forgot to unmute.
Okay.
You have the invasion plans Barnabas Harrigan had. Plus, you have plans to a secret entrance into Fort Hazard.
Yeah.
Part of Harrigan's plan involved a strike team with him and his closest allies entering the grain stores at the base of Fort Hazard and coming beneath Lucrehold, which is the fortress,
To kill
and killing the pirate lord where he sleeps.
the Storm King.
Yeah, the Hurricane
Yeah,
King.
The Hurricane King, yeah, okay. All right. Scourge will tell him I have brought my crew and my allies here to share information that's recently come into our possession, and he'll put out the plans of a plot by Barnabas Harrigan and the Chilaxian fleet to murder the Hurricane King and ransack the Shackles with Chilaxian fleets flying magically through the eye of Abendango. And here's the plans.
Yeah, so the Hurricane King is like, well, obviously we just watched them sail out of it. That wizard, whatever you want to call the Master of the Gales. And the Master of the Gales, of course, is this very old druid with an enormous white beard that goes all the way down to his waist, and it's just like he's a wizard. And the Hurricane King is just like, shut up! I'm talking. That wizard showed us all what's happening, and so for once I'm inclined to trust Master Scourge, if that's your real name. I have recent reports that come to light indicating you may have falsely signed documents under an assumed name, but that will be council business for another day, Admiral.
Assumed name. Okay. I will be happy to discuss it with you at your leisure.
Yeah, at my leisure. Well, I'm glad you at least still respect the crown.
Certainly. Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Marcus's
Even if
lips
these
twitch
threats
up
that you
slightly
state
at that
are
point.
real, and that this is anything more than a Chelish peacekeeping force, how do we know that they're coming anywhere close to the Shackles? They still have several hundred miles to travel.
Harrigan's plans are clearly laid out.
By your own
Have you
admission,
even
Barnabas
examined
Harrigan is a liar and a traitor. How do you know this isn't some sort of Chelish triple cross?
Because the Chelish are not that smart.
I want to cut back to the scene where the three performers got murdered in the middle of Absalom by the Inquisitor.
Yep.
And then it flashes back to right now.
Oh yeah, that scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like,
Where they're like,
The spies
we
be like,
returned,
get
we did our
away.
mission. Did.
Oh, and you guys haven't told Laris, and Laris still has a big ass signed portrait in her cabin.
Oh, none of you know.
No one
Oh,
knows.
we don't know.
None of you know. That was the scene
Yeah,
I
no,
showed.
that
That's
was a-
right. That's right.
Yep.
Okay, but yeah,
Yep.
there's still a big ass portrait signed with the lead
Diva?
yeah, the
Lady
diva.
Eastwind.
Yep.
So
Such
the
a
Hurricane
shame. They
King,
made such a pretty bonfire, though.
the Hurricane King throws his mug at you, Scourge. What do you do?
Can I
Um,
interact it with my face?
I'll block
I
it
enact
with my
Mage
head.
Hand to stop it halfway
No, I'll
across
just
the
block
room.
it with my head. I don't care.
Okay, so what happens is, Scourge, it slows down as Marcus's mage hand catches it, and it stops right in front of your face.
Pick it up. Drink it.
Yeah, somehow it still has ale in it, and it's the good stuff. You know, it's like that triple distilled shit.
I must commend you on your quality of ale, sir.
What is your suggestion, Pirate Lord Master Scourge? What should we do to stop this Chelish fleet? By all accounts, the distress plans in place for the last 300 years of the Shackles' existence have always been for individual pirate lords to handle business themselves.
I will begin by flying my fleet to intercept them, but they're certainly going to require more than that if we're all going to survive.
Yes, the pirate lords have always stood for their own areas of influence. However, with threats such as this, not banding together is tantamount to suicide.
No. What you asked for is a ridiculous plan of action.
What I ask for is for you to save your own life.
Every port in the Shackles is equally important and must be protected. These devils are capable of teleportation magic. If we do not have individual defenders in every fleet and enough force here in Fort Hazard to match them, at any moment they could strike anywhere.
No,
I commend you for your action, however, Pirate Lord Scourge. I will give you permission to lead the vanguard against them. You can take you and whatever allies you have to slow them down.
No war was ever won defensively. If we wait for them to spread through the Shackles, we will have already lost.
So when you say that, there's a lot of muttering throughout the room. Can you make a sense motive check?
Sense motive would be... I've never had to do a sense motive before.
It's wisdom, if you don't have any points in it.
Did I make a sense motive or not really?
Yeah, you can make a sense motive as well.
Okay. Mine should be one higher than this. And maybe that button should be...
There's
going
a
off
lot
every
of
time.
talking and body language going on, Marcus, but it's nowhere near loud enough for you to catch it. Aces, for you, however, on a 29, the room seems pretty split. About half the people in this room are basically facing Tessa Fairwind and like speaking to each other like, she should be the Pirate Lord, she should be leading us. And another quarter of the room, led by Sadak Goldtooth, are all speaking to each other like such disrespect. This Captain Marcus fellow must be put down into his place for speaking out against the Hurricane King. And the final quarter of the room, led by Wide Olga, is just like sitting back and like, doesn't concern me. I don't have a port to defend, you know. Fuck the rest of you.
Okay. Scourge would like to make an attempt to rally the room.
I whispered this stuff to Scourge's ear. I don't like Tessophilia, but she's our best bet on getting people to do the right thing, if you know what I mean.
That's not Tess Fairwind's one of the few people in this room I do like.
Yeah.
No, I don't like her
because
I think she's all...
too.
No, personally, I don't like her because it's like, she thinks she's all that, and I'm like, no. No. As the creepy guy in the corner, no.
All right. Scourge would like to try to rally aid for support to go intercept the fleet with him from anybody who is willing.
Okay. That's
and
diplomacy. What are you saying or doing to rally this?
He'll stand up and say that he will fly his fleet into the face of the attacking Chalaxian fleet. But at this point, it is absolute suicide. They have too many ships, and they have an entire massive army of devils. And if they get past the intercept fleet, that it will be almost impossible to shake them out of the shackles. And we need all the help that we can garner.
Can we assist that roll?
Yes, but what are you doing to assist it?
Stand up and lift the glass and say, Pirate Admiral Lord Scourge has proven... you need to type out your title because I always forget.
Just Scourge. I mean, he doesn't care about any of the rest of it. Just Scourge is fine.
Yes, but
BFF Scourge.
Spend the 5 minutes that it'd take to go through.
It's proven that he is a dwarf of his word, and he has accomplished much in a small amount of time. If you are going to cast your vote, cast it towards someone who is ascending and not descending.
You hear?
Okay. All right, so it sounds like you're rolling with at least one aid.
I reiterate my statements that standing together we have a far better chance of defeating the Chalaxians than we could ever have by ourselves.
And
you see me stand up like, y'all been pointing fingers at the wrong gentleman the whole time. And shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. My lord had nothing to do with it. It was all that guy the whole time.
Are you actually doing the like shame?
I'm doing the
like,
shame.
finger.
Yeah, on all the people that are like, oh no, Hell Harbor's the one doing all this. Guess what? It wasn't. I'm just rubbing it in, being obnoxious as possible, and I'm like, my lord,
I'm blushing because I really did believe it was
Aranax and Demian.
yes.
Oh, thank you.
And so I am like, as he's like shaming people, I'm like turning like multiple shades of red.
And
So is this
while they're doing
diplomacy?
this, Scourge is going to make a point of looking directly at Tessa Fairwind and Aranax and Demian both,
Okay.
and raise his new mug of ale to him.
Aranax just gives you a quick, like, Chellish fleet salute.
Yeah.
And Tessa just looks at you strangely for a moment and then glances around the room and kind of nods in your direction.
Nice. Okay.
Excellent.
Here goes. Absolutely no chance of success, right, Arthur?
We'll see what you roll. I'm not telling you that because I know you'll roll a 20 if I say it.
Oh, darn
Listen,
it.
I know how the physics of this game work.
All right, so that is at 3.
Yeah,
Well,
you have a +6.
I don't auto age, so
Oh, go ahead and roll it out. Yeah, you're good. You got a 10.
All right, +6. Boom!
Ooh!
Okay, and as you do that, he rises. Oh, not going well. Okay. As you do that, Kurdak Bonefist shouts you down, and the whole room devolves into chaos. And after a few quick pistol shots, the Hurricane King says, "Any captains who sail north of the Shackles lines to face the Chellish Armada will be branded traitors. All of you will follow the pre-existing defense plan of the Shackles. Those captains and pirate lords assigned to the defense of Port Peril will hold their position. Admiral
I'd like to
Scourge,
speak up. Any
you
captain
may
who
sail
doesn't
alone
sail
with
right.
all those who owe
Wait.
fealty to you and meet this problem yourself,
Very
if
well.
you so choose."
Let's ask the gods what they think the result of that plan will be.
And so everyone turns and looks down the table to the chair at the end of the hall, a gigantic chair sized for someone 3 times larger than a normal man or woman, where Besmara is said to sit upon judgment. And Bonefist Kurdak says, "Very well. Call upon Besmara and see if she appears here."
Let me look real quick, because I had added what's the 3rd level divination? Anybody remember?
So,
I don't know the third stuff. There's a
sorry,
augury
my
is the
head hurts
second,
right now.
and then
Feel sick.
the 4th is divination. So there's.
Is it
I don't
just
know
augury or divination? That's it?
Augury
I'm not
is second
aware of
level.
the third. You're right. Augury is second, and the divination is 4th.
Oh, I thought there was a 3rd. Okay. Well, then
There
it
could
was
be.
all-
I'm just not aware of it.
Okay. Well, I will. I am. I'm trying to remember. I am actually a follower of
Bismara.
Bismara. Yeah, so I can call.
You're
Okay.
not a
Well, I
follower of
will
Besmara
augury.
anymore, remember? You got the
I will
tattoo
cast
now.
an augury calling on Bismara.
Remember, you're actually an oracle of a different god now.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
That's what I was going to say. I follow Bismara, but now I'm
Dwarven god guy.
I can't remember the god now. Dwarven.
Old Forge Fist?
Yeah. Why am I drawing a blank, Arthur? I should know this.
Yeah, you should know it.
I've got it in my notes. I'll just have to look it up.
I'm trying to think, what
Why
would
am I
summon a
why am I drawing a blank on this? This should be easy.
Magrim?
Maraudin?
It's not that Torgen guy, is it?
No, it's not Toreg, because Toreg's the leader of the Dwarven
No, it's
gods.
not Torag. I put the deity's name. Well, this is embarrassing. You know my deity, his name, that guy.
Yeah, that
the
guy.
Thing, that guy.
that
The guy you worship every morning and every night.
It's Maraudin,
Droskar?
I thought.
I don't think it was.
Soul
He's,
Forger?
one of the
Forefather?
greatest Smith students.
No,
Oh,
it's
no,
the.
that's the evil god. Droskar.
It's something fist. He's a.
Maybe you could look it up during break.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Yeah.
come back to it because as embarrassing as it is, I just don't remember.
Right. So you're not actually a specific follower of Besmara anymore. You're kind of split on the issue.
Yeah, because I mean,
someone's saying it's actually Angrod, the Forge Fire.
yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah, Angrad. I believe you're right. I believe it is Angrad. I know we looked at it and discussed it, but I totally drawn a blank. God of strategic, aggressive tactics. Yeah, battle. The rage god. Yeah, Angrad. That's it.
Okay.
So I can't call on. So who else here is?
You can try to call on Besmara, but there could be some repercussions. For,
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that, especially since I've just
Pantheisting.
become an oracle. That would be bad juju. Is anybody
Well,
else?
It's funny because you're still wearing like the hat, right? You're wearing
Right, but the hat.
Besmara.
I don't think you've ever actually tried to use the hat since you started
No,
doing this.
you never
Because
did.
it doesn't work anymore. Because you have to be a follower of Besmara in order to get it to work.
Well, I would pass the hat on to someone that is then if it is actually not going to work. We have a cleric of Ismar though, right?
We have a cleric of
Please.
Yeah, you have a cleric of
Calicia.
Calistria.
I know we have a Calistria, but I thought we had a Besmaran, or did she?
That was
your cleric
Pella.
of Besmara was Sandara Quinn, who's now
Here we
her
go.
own captain, and in fact,
She's
is
here,
now-
right?
Yes, she is. She's a squadron commander.
Oh, well, she's one of my.
You could delegate the summoning to
Yeah,
her.
I'll-
You
I'll
throw the
have
hat
her.
to her.
I'll pass
like-
her the Besmara's tricorn, Besmara's hat, and
Okay.
say,
Sindara, take care of my light
Sandara,
work.
let's ask Our
Okay.
Lady of the Seas to speak to this. I need to write that down because that's embarrassing as heck.
So, Sandara looks a little uncertain for a moment and says, Scourge, I'm afraid that if I was to call upon Besmara right now, the future can be very unclear, especially when so many forces are at work. Are you sure you want to know the answer to this question?
She has a vested interest. I believe that. I believe she would like to speak to us. I certainly hope she would like to speak with us. Yeah.
So, yeah, when you hear that, Bonefist Kurdak just dismisses the meeting immediately. He's like, this meeting is adjourned. What you do on your own time is your own deal. If you cannot produce Besmara here and now, then, well, she can find me in the afterlife if I die.
Then let's try it and see.
So, he's like, let me know when you're ready, because he knows it takes 10 minutes to get started, and he's dismissing the meeting now.
So he really doesn't want us to do this. Is what I'm getting here.
So about half the pirate lords immediately get up and leave, including all of the Kurdak loyalists. Everyone who remains is basically a Tessaferowin supporter. And they're all like turning, eagerly awaiting to see if Besmara will answer this summons and bring about a divination. And I need to...
Yeah, I actually do have Angrad saved.
Okay. So what is the question or that you have? Like, what piece of advice do you seek, or what goal, event, or activity that occurs within the next week do you want
Oh, crap.
aid over?
Sorry.
What do you guys think? Will stopping the Chelish fleet will we be able to stop the Chelish fleet if we don't all intercept them? What do you think, guys? You want to polish that?
When you
Will
say
it require
all,
the support of all pirate lords in order to stop the Chelish attack?
I mean, do you want to limit that all to half or more than half? Because all is
Yeah, kind
pretty
of tough.
unlikely, anyways. You want to ask something that could be feasible. Because That dude ain't helping us.
So what's the question?
Sorry, answering a chat. Will it require many? Can we say many of the Pirate Lords support?
I would say, be specific, be like more than half.
More than half? Okay. Will it
Is that-
require more than half the Pirate Lords intercepting the Chelish fleet to stop them from invading the Shackles? How's that? Or I wish we could just ask her to intervene. I mean, somebody called her to the throne before, right?
She has actually never been called to the throne before.
Okay, well then, knowledge, religion, how would we go about doing that?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make that check.
I can assist on that automatically if you don't have a very high.
Can you assist?
I can always assist automatically.
Yep.
No. I'm asking Arthur. Can I get an assist on that?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
So
anybody
can
else
I.
have knowledge, religion?
I do.
Auto assist, so I have plus
Yep.
4. 31.
Okay. Is that with the +4 already in there? Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yes.
With the 31, you would know that the best way to get in contact with Besmara and ask for her aid directly would be with a planar ally spell with a significant payout. You would need to offer a great sacrifice to ask her to intervene.
And what? Let me look up Bismara and see what acceptable sacrifice is. But
Probably
Knowledge.
gold.
Knowledge,
Lots and
religion.
lots of money.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're kind of low on money.
Yeah.
How
You
much
see
would be
me,
considered
like-
lots and lots?
What about a priceless artifact of another god as I bring out the Novivore sword?
Oh yeah, the priceless thing.
So when you bring out,
Whoa.
you're bringing out the Iger's Kiss.
Yeah, I have it on my back, like.
So when you bring out the Iger's Kiss, their giant werewolf fist closes around your hand, Aces, and you turn to see the hybrid werewolf form of a very upset pirate lord who pulls you in close and says, "So good to see you again, Aces.
Yes.
Did you know that you require to give me 20% of the plunder from that tower? Your master, Pirate Lord Scourge, voted on the issue himself in an A fashion.
Yes. We will pay you 20% of the thing. It's just
I'll take
popped up.
this right now.
That is the whole plunder from the tower.
Tower.
This paltry sword is all you took from the tower?
That's all there was.
That's all there
Yeah.
was. There was nothing else in
Yep.
the tower.
20% of priceless is still priceless. The sword is
Well-
its own payment.
So, do you want the sword that could save us from being destroyed?
I feel like that definitely needs to make a roll for that one.
Diplomacy check.
Yeah, so he's just like, Avamar Soranash will take what he needs.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah. What would you propose? And you can tell, like, he's not yelling anymore. He's, like, pulling himself in close to the two of you, Aces and Scourge.
You see me like getting closer.
Because
I'm like,
you know
it's
he
the
can't
only-
back down. Now that he's made this public, he can't
Right.
walk away without getting something.
How about 0 down now and 0 payments for a really long time?
Unacceptable.
We all
I'm trying to
live.
think
I
what
will-
else what else have we got to offer?
I will offer former Pirate Lord Barnabas' sword.
You're
It's a
offering
plus-
him Barnabas Harrigan's sword?
Yeah, it's a +3 short sword.
So he looks at it, and he's just like, I feel like I've seen this weapon before.
You have.
He is a close friend of mine.
Who's a close friend of yours?
Barnabas.
I point
This
to
is Harrigan's sword.
Yes.
I-
Yes, it is.
the skull. There he is, right there, on her hip.
So he, like,
Actually, I
spits
keep
on
that-
the sword and then, like, wipes it off on his armor and looks at his reflection in it and says, good enough. And then he, like, unwerewolfizes himself back into his normal human form with a white streak of hair down the back, making him look incredibly dangerous.
You see me raise the eyebrow. Was that really necessary?
I think it was a darn good trade.
So, yeah, he,
A
like...
sword.
I think
So he, like,
Sword-
shoves the
sword.
sword in, like, an empty scabbard that someone hands him, and it clearly doesn't fit because this short sword is way wider than it should be. And he just, like, shoves it in there until the scabbard, like, breaks, and he turns back to Aces and says, "Gotta get paid."
Yeah.
And
Apparently
walks
so.
away.
I'll go back to saving our lives right now. Okay,
okay
a
with that.
precious
So-
sword.
Yeah,
save our
sacrifice
lives.
the.
I said a sword for a sword, and that was fair payment.
Bureaucracy. You got to maintain levels of
So
perception.
yeah, let's planar ally.
Okay.
How long would it take someone to prepare a
With significant
slot for a planar ally? What level's planar ally? Anybody remember?
depends on who's
Depends on
cast-
what level you want to cast it at. It's one of those variable spells.
That's more of a clerical thing, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is definitely a cleric
Sammy
thing.
cannot do the 7th level one. I know it's 7.
So is Sammy cleric of Calistria?
She's a cleric of Calicia, yes.
She's one of those heresy clerics.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's overly nice. That's why she got kicked out for not being revengeful.
So she like got some healing. Is that why she's
Yeah,
fancy?
Yeah, she got the healing. Like she's killing with kindness instead of revenge. But she does have a slot open for a what level spell?
Planar
six of-
ally is cleric.
You either cast it at 4th, 6th, or 8th level.
Yeah.
Only do 6.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I don't think a lesser would cut it.
That's one
So-
thing I really think that 5e did a great thing on is just leveling up spells like that.
Yeah. Yep, cleric 6.
Well, 6 it is. Would that be suitable? Maybe.
Yeah. What are you guys offering as sacrifice?
The sword.
Spell?
The
Which
priceless
sword?
sword.
Iger's Kiss? You're offering Iger's Kiss.
Yeah.
Okay.
A plunder from another god.
All right.
Another
And you
god.
are aware that this is a weapon intrinsically tied to Norgorber.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
We are
She can
nothing
rub
if
his
not
face in it.
troublemakers.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to stir up some trouble now, man. Don't get
So
any
would
worse
that
than
be
pissing off a
treasure
god.
from another brother? that-
Oh.
So bad.
No. Okay.
Let's see how Besmara stands against Norgorber.
Yeah, I don't know how they like each other.
Not that I know anything about Pathfinder deities, but you know.
I think Noah is the assassin god of secrets, and Calicia's loves secrets.
Don't Besmara having any
Well, she loves stealing stuff from other gods, so it's like
yeah,
that's her
So-
thing, is stealing.
and it actually does. That's one of the things it says is she likes to steal.
Arthur, who is the
Pirate.
cover pirate guy with the mug and the pistol?
You might notice he has a bone hand. That's Bonefist Kurdak.
Oh, I did notice that with my lights on.
Okay. So, instead of the watery form of Besmara that you might be expecting to appear in the chair, in the area before Sandara Quinn, a enormous bubble of water appears. And out from it steps a translucent creature of huge size, 20 feet it's basically like a gelatinous cube made entirely out of water, and there's things swimming in it, like fantastical sea creatures you've never seen before, things that either don't exist on this plane or come from like the deepest depths of the ocean.
Is it kind of like the movie The Abyss? Where it's
Yeah, but
water
it's literally a cube in size.
snake.
Does anyone speak Aquan as the walls of the water begin vibrating?
I do.
Are you
Okay.
hedging your bets there, Rich?
Oh, I love that you start casting defensive spells, apparently, as soon as this thing shows up.
And I say, Marcus, are you scared of divine magic, Marcus?
Divine hell, it's a monster.
Nice.
Yeah, I have the helmet of comprehend language, though, Arthur. Remember, so
Yeah, he
I
does
can
have
understand
that.
what it says.
All right.
So the divines do have great power. We're all like looking at Marcus.
So
Divine my ass, that's a planar creature.
this creature speaks a very old form of Aquan. It basically speaks like high ancient Aquan. And so in order for it to say like one word in common, it takes like 10 to 15 seconds. And it's terrifying to watch the thing speak because as it does, the watercolor changes. And it's still kind of clear the whole time, but it goes from like blue to green to like pitch black to kind of like a bloody red streaks throughout it. And it says, "I am undulating rage of 1,000 tempests from the darkest depths of the plane of water. Who has summoned me, champion of Besmara, to this time and place?"
See me look towards Sandara Quinn and Scourge.
So Zendara is just like, I don't
Scourge
know
will
what's
step
happening.
up.
This
Scourge-
isn't what was supposed to have happened.
Scourge will step up and say that I, Scourge, have asked Sandara Quinn to summon on my behalf.
Can I translate? Unless Scourge knows Aqua now.
And how are you referring to this creature?
As Lord of Ancient One of the Great Sea.
Okay. It's hard to say what's happening. It kind of purrs like a cat, but given that it's a giant block of water, when it does so, the room vibrates.
Nice.
I turn to my companions and just tell them for the first time, I can't swim.
No.
It's okay, I got you covered.
We're all right.
That's actually supposed to be a +4 instead of a +3 on my mirror image.
Okay. It says,
Wow.
"I have been sent by Besmara to aid you. While she herself cares not for the paltry conflicts of those on the sea, she does answer the calls of those who bring her artifacts stolen beyond the fist of other gods. I am here to smite your enemies. Direct me."
Dude, get those
Oh,
fleets. Get those fleets.
wow.
Chiliax is that way.
No, Bone Fist.
But
What, do you want to go after
Yeah.
Bonefist right
Aren't
Take
now?
the
Bone
fleets-
Fist
aren't
out.
the
He's in the
fleets more-
way.
Aren't the fleets more important?
So,
Oh,
yeah, when you say Bonefist, everyone in the room was like,
No, I'm not saying it out loud.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking, but yeah, player out
Why
of
not?
character. What do you guys think?
Yeah, why not say it out loud? She's
Yeah, I
Drop
I won't.
That's a question.
Then Bone Fist packing.
Bonefist is a singular adversary.
That's
Our
in the way.
true adversary is the Chelish fleets.
So can you make a perception check when you guys start talking about going after Bonefist? Using your exact words there, going after.
Bum, bum,
Yeah, Aces, you hear a lot of people muttering that, well, the Hurricane King is a coward and that there's a need for new leadership. Everyone is saying Tessa Fairwind. They're not saying Pirate Lord Scourge.
No, I'm
Absolutely,
okay with
I'm fine
Tessa.
with that. I'm
Yeah.
okay with
Actual
not me. I'm all about Tessa. Yeah.
Yeah, so Tessa kind of swaggers forward during all this, and she's like, you mind if we take a moment to, talk real quick?
Sure.
Just you and me, Scourge.
You see me
Absolutely,
frown.
my lady.
I
So
still
she takes you
smell-
to, like, the kitchen, and there's it's still like people are preparing food for the pirate lords, and she just kind of looks around and slowly draws her sword. It's like a really obvious rasping noise, and everyone starts leaving. What are you doing, Marcus?
As they're walking away, I still spell telepathic bond for the group.
Okay.
Yeah, Scourge will make a point of leaning on his axe too, just in case anybody's being slow about it.
Okay.
Bang the butt
so
out.
you now have telepathic contact with Marcus, and are you adding anybody else to that telepathic bond?
All 4 of us.
Okay, all right. You can all speak to each other in your minds.
Sweet.
So Tessa Fairwind, like as soon as everyone's out of the room, she's like, "What the hell are you doing, Scourge? We don't have time for this."
We don't have time for someone to be blockading and being a stick in the mud and not want to change plans either. If we don't stop the Chelish, this is just going to spread all over the Shackles, right?
I don't disagree with any of that so far. Obviously, in his 38 years as Pirate Lord, it's time for him to finally be removed. He has been the longest reigning Pirate Lord, and it's clear he's become complacent. But those defense plans have been in place for a reason.
Do you think they will work?
Pirate Lords have a very hard time working together. I think you and me, Aeronax, the Master of Gales, anyone we can call upon, I think that we stand a chance, especially with your jelly friend out there.
Okay. All right. If that's the way you want to go, that's fine.
And when we come back, Scourge, that's when we move against the Hurricane King. It's time for that crown to change hands.
I wholeheartedly agree, and I couldn't think of a better candidate.
So she nods and she says, "Yes, you."
No, you.
She just looks around and she's like, "I'm clearly far too young for this. Too good of a complexion. I don't want to spend all day inside filling out paperwork."
You see aces in your head. Like, you can always let me do it, Captain.
No. Well, you know what? I got people for that.
I love paperwork.
You have a good set of officers about you.
Yes.
I feel that you'd make a very good Pirate Lord, and I feel even more strongly now that you'd make a great Hurricane King.
Wow.
As long as you remember that each Pirate Lord stands on their own.
All right.
You hear Marcus's voice flutter into your head saying, maybe you should marry her and rule the Shackles together.
Oh. She's like a pointy-eared freak. What, are you kidding me? She doesn't even have a beard. Really?
Come on. A pointy-eared freak.
She doesn't have a beard. That's my favorite quote.
Think about the power.
Sometimes not all of us are cruising for a piece of kneecap like you are, Captain.
And Scourge now learns why you should never telepathic bond anyone.
Yep. I just whisper, take her offer. Take her offer.
All right, so let's get on with this. We don't have time to argue, so we'll move back into the other room.
Okay.
So we didn't share the plans about the back door to the keep, right?
With anyone? No, you did not.
Okay, we have not. Good, because I hadn't really planned on that. I want to make sure. All right, so we'll go back to the room and tell our ally that we would like him to assist us in striking down the Chelish fleet and all their demon armies.
Okay, how do you address your ally?
Great ancient one of Besmar's greatness, can you aid us in this mightiness of the Chelish fleet of heretics that want to end your reign of stealing stuff and swagger?
So he says, in reference to my previous comments and the as to herefore mentioned discussion, I am at your, albeit brief, command in regards to defeating the enemies of the Shackles.
Awesome. Let's go.
Transform and roll out Autobot.
So while you're doing that, you're approached by one of your free captains.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what was his name? Oh, Cashew. Your viceroy. And Cashew is just like, Aye, Scourge. Got a bit of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
If you can wait for just 3 more days, we'll be able to recall Madshank's fleet from the south. He took his squadron with him when he went to go to Sargava to get some cash. But if we leave now, we sail without him.
We can have him meet us. We could just message him. We have clerics.
We're going northwise. He's coming from the south. If we leave now, it's a zero-sum game.
I'll confer with Tessa and the other officers. How much is 3 days going to hurt us? I mean, at the rate that they're moving and where they're going to be, where are we going to fight them at? Arthur, can you share the map with us?
Yeah. So
we can delay them for 3 days.
And knowledge, profession sailor check to see what I think that is going to mean tactics-wise.
So from the Port Peril area, you can sail your ships at a rate, because you have multiple squadrons, you can only move at about 50 miles a day.
Mm-hmm.
And according to your notes, on day 6 of the Chelish campaign, they're going to hit Drenchport, and they expect to take it within 24 hours.
Drenchport is here.
Drenchport is the northernmost port.
Right.
Yes.
And we are currently
in Port Peril, in the central.
We're in
location.
Peril. I thought we were in Hell's Harbor. Okay, so we're here in Port Peril.
Yep.
And mileage to...
It'll take you about 3 days to get to Drenchport.
3 days, and you said they'll be in Drenchport when?
In day 6. If you wait for Madshanks and he shows up on time and nothing goes wrong, you should be able to meet them outside Drenchport as the attack begins.
Okay. All right.
It may not necessarily be a bad idea. If we meet them at Drenchport, we'll have the benefit of the ground-based defenses as well.
Yes.
So the Master of Gales pulls his beard and is just like, my druids have been waiting a long time to unleash the fury of nature against someone, anyone. Being
You see me, look.
caged is something of an issue, and he like slams his staff on the ground and it's like, it will be good to take octopus form once more.
And
See me
we
look
look
towards
forward to
the-
your assistance.
You see me
Think we
look
can
at the-
call up the dragons on the way through the, was that the arches?
Yeah, so
The
when you
hot
say
seat?
that, Aranax and Demian comes forward and says, there will be no calling forward the dragons. The dragons that were already in my fleet and were both powering my airships and providing defense for it have all switched sides. They've been offered an exorbitant sum of money to side with the Cheliax. All of my airships have been destroyed.
Wow. Exorbitant. Define exorbitant. Can we meet it?
So he nods heads with you privately and says, the House of Thrun personally paid them 15 million gold pieces.
Million with an M. How many?
Yes.
I'll turn and look at Aces. How many zeros is that?
I said, my lord, it's this many zeros.
2 minutes.
These
Or should I say
many
me
zeros? Okay, crap. I
Well,
don't
then
have
you
that
have
many
figures
zeros.
left.
So essentially, that would be enough to buy all of the ships in your current fleet several times over.
I hold
Yeah,
up
I don't
the
think
pamphlet
we
and
have
said,
that many
I got
zeros.
you 2 plunder.
Is there anything else that would sway them?
Oh, I
Somebody
think
have
they're
knowledge
right.
local?
That is so much gold.
That is a staggering amount of
There's
gold.
no
I can see the
way.
dragon's eyes light up.
You're
mean,
looking for something that would sway the dragons?
Yeah.
With
has-
a... What's
Who
your
has good
arcane?
knowledge local?
Is that
Oh,
a
that's
plus
the
11 arcane?
Yeah, plus 11 arcane.
Yeah, so
Is this a knowledge local or a knowledge arcana?
I think it would be Arcana because that's knowledge of dragons.
Okay.
I can at least
So
aid.
what does that end up being? Your total ends up being a 29 and a 23? Putting your
29
heads
and
together,
assist.
you know that the dragons of the Hawk's Fang are thoroughly chaotic in nature and should technically be deathly opposed to any action involving Shellyax. But that giant pile of money is probably more than any dragon can resist.
Could possibly resist, yeah.
Yeah, there's not that many dragons, and so split that up between them. They're all making several million.
Yeah.
I do like those shinies. As I
Oh,
I
go
didn't
back to
update
my dragon.
macro.
Okay, so let's
That should have
flip that over.
7 of
What
mine, so
would it
mine should be a 30.
What would it take for the dragons to take their money and still betray them? They are chaotic after all. We could offer to help the dragons raid Cheliax and plunder Cheliax to their heart's content.
That's a long flight, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well,
It is.
Build
need
perches on the
places to
ships and let them ride.
That's most of those dragons are like ancient or elders. They're as large or larger than your ships.
Oh, yeah.
2 ships side by side, they can use them as water skis.
Yes, they could.
What else have we got that we could offer? I don't want to fight dragons, y'all. What can we do to? Did they pay them to stay out of the fight, or did they pay them to fight?
So, you're asking Aranax. Aranax is like, so far they've launched no further attacks beyond destroying my airship fleet and retreating back to the Dehakian Islands.
So they probably.
I believe they might be a wild card, something to be considered.
So if they didn't pay them to attack, then can we pay them to still assist? I mean, I'm trying to figure out what our other options here
I
are.
don't think we have enough money to pay them.
So, yeah, Aranax gestures around and says, while individually many of our pirate lords have quite a bit of coinage, none of us could get anywhere near 15 million. The price for raising those 5 statues of the Hurricane King in the 5 ports, well, we could build 800 of those for the same price it would take to match the Chilaxians.
So we can't out-resource them.
Certainly not. And I should note that 15 million, while a significant amount, is still but a fraction of what the House of Thrune might be able to throw at this conflict. As a former admiral of the Chelish Navy, I should point to these 8 warship squadrons. Many of them appear to be bearing either House Guard or mercenary markings. This is simply a scouting fleet by a private benefactor, Dravalia Thrune. This isn't even the actual Chelish Armada.
Wow.
So this is a rogue operation, then?
Perhaps. I would hesitate to comment as such, but it could be possible.
So it's doubtful this has the full backing of the Chelish government.
So
I
this
will
is
say, if this is successful, Dravalia Thrune will probably be repaid several times over by her cousin.
Yeah.
And if it is unsuccessful, then I suspect she will be dead.
I don't buy it. Someone who can throw that much money around, but they're still using their house forces. That feels like a little bit too much of a gamble for her.
She may be stretched thin, yeah.
Or this might be personal.
You may have forced your
personal, but
timeline
something we
forward.
can use to our advantage.
You have been butting heads with Barnabas Harrigan for a while, and you did directly cut him off from becoming a pirate lord.
Yeah.
We cut him off for more than that.
Cut him off from everything. Cut him off from not being dead. Guys, I'm drawing up on ideas here. I can't think of anything else we can do to affect the dragons in this.
We have druids. They could turn into...
Do we know if the dragons have actually been paid yet?
Yeah, Aranax just shrugs and says, well, I would hope so. I would hate for mercenary dragons to have destroyed my fleet and then not gotten paid. That would be rather rude.
Yes, but if they haven't gotten paid, then maybe we could put the bug in their ears that perhaps she won't pay them. Rage can be a powerful motivator.
Perhaps, but I think you're concentrating far too hard on this dragon.
Yeah. If it was something we could just cut into quick, but yeah, I can't say that this is worth a lot of time and effort. So, all right.
The dragons have rarely come to conflict with anyone in the Shackles, or aided in its defense in the many times Chelix has approached before.
Of course, that would be a fleet of ships that we'd really love to intercept. The ones with that 15 million gold on it. Yeah, see, but if only we had an infinity cloak, then I'd have a plan.
You mean a Holocaust cloak?
I mean, Holocaust
Yeah.
cloak. Dadgummit, and I screwed it up after all.
I don't know what either.
Anybody want a
So I have
peanut?
no idea where we would find a wheelbarrow at.
You are the Brute Squad.
I have no idea what's going on.
We're quoting Princess Bride.
Princess
repeatedly.
Bride, man. If you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it.
I seen it. It's just been a while.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's move on to plans. We need to message what's his name? Tell him to get here post haste and head straight for Drenchport, right?
Mad Shanks?
Yeah, we need to message Mad Shanks and tell him to head towards Drenchport and spend the next 3 days drumming up all the support for this that we can.
Oh, he's got a bunch of loot and everything with him, too.
Yeah, he should have some plunder for us. Yes, he should.
I mean, let's be clear. He spent like a week going south to Sargava and is turning around before he gets anything done.
Oh.
He might have some money for you. It's not going to be a lot.
Oh, okay. So he didn't actually finish what he's doing. He's actually getting recalled. Okay, that's fine. No worries.
This
I'm
is
less
like
worried
sending
about
out a
him.
Metal Gear Solid 5 side op and then like recalling it before you're finished.
Yeah. Okay, I have no idea what that means, but okay.
Okay, don't worry about it. His mission is incomplete. He's coming home before.
Yeah. All right, so let's message him as soon as possible. Tell him to go straight to Drenchport.
Okay.
And we'll meet him.
Yeah, he gets your message, and in a 25-word reply is just basically like "fuck, ball, shit, fuck." I'll meet you there, and then just like enough curse words to fill up the remaining 25 words.
It's terrible.
So do we want to call back Bonefist while we have the ally here, planar ally here? I have no idea what the duration of this thing really is.
Tempted to say fuck him. Let him burn.
Well, but we might be able to call. I mean, if we can prove that Bismara sent an ally in her own name, we may be able to sway some of the other pirate lords to help.
That is true. He'll probably still do nothing.
It just depends
I'm saying
on,
that telepathically.
It sounds like he has enough political favor that it's a moot point until we return.
I have a question. Did the sword ascend to the heavens?
Yeah, that sword is gone.
Oh yeah, it's
okay, I was making sure.
Tiger's kiss is on her.
But did I at least see her hand pop down, like grab it?
No, it just like disappeared as the giant water elemental showed up. And
I was thinking Lady in the Lake elemental style.
No,
I wanted to see a hand pop down so I could rub into Marcus' face. See, there is gods.
I mean, he's implicitly accepted the existence of gods now that he's just like, yeah, Besmara sent this thing. He just said that.
No, he didn't. I remember he specifically
Scourge said it, and you were like, yeah, no, okay. It's implicit.
It's a planar entity.
That's
all it is.
Okay.
I need more power, Arthur, to convince him over.
Listen, you know my policy here. No one man should have all that power.
Yes, he was a very wise philosopher.
Well, now he's going after Taylor Swift, so he's on my shit list now.
Wasn't he going after her before?
Yeah, but now he's going after her again.
There you go.
All right, so can we get Bonefist back in here?
No, like
have the ally speak for us.
So
or
what happens is you like send a message for Bonefist to show up, and you get a sternly written note from Viceroy Sadak Goldtooth. It literally is like this giant flowery text, and then the bottom it just reads like, "The Hurricane King summons you, not the other way around."
No. I didn't literally mean summon him. He said that he would come back when we had results, right?
Yeah, it's still the same answer. Like,
okay, well...
He expected you to have immediate results.
Yeah, I think he was like, let's do lunch. And it was like, having lunch.
Yeah. Then we'll deal with Bonehead when we get back, so let's press on.
Marcus
So
is
we'll spend the
reading
next
scroll
3
and
days
just
trying to drum up all the
incinerates it in
support.
disgust.
We'll spend the next 3 days trying to drum up all the support that we can. We'll show off our ally to as many people as we can and have him speak for Bismara.
Okay, so as you're sailing to Drenchport, he just like travels under the surface of the water, and so there's like huge waves going everywhere, and then there's just a block of water where like the wave stops and appears on the
And
other
we
side
just
of it,
go through.
and he just kind of like floats under the surface of the water, this flat plane of like glass, and it looks super strange, and
So
he just keeps changing color as he's going.
I'm just taking
our
notes on this.
3 days
Marcus,
before
I'm
we leave, are
standing
we
out on
able
the deck
to
just-
spend some time drumming up support from any of the other pirate lords, or is it pretty much a moot point?
So no one is willing to talk to you because of the declaration that anyone who helps you will be a traitor.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. That's what you get. You send out a couple letters, but all of them are like,
Yeah. All right.
sorry, but not sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I like not dying.
Yeah, it's basically like, I really hope you succeed, but I can't go against, the king.
I'd like to go. I think we should visit a couple of the more likely ones that could potentially be swayed, and try and use an argument like, "It's true, you can't participate in the battle. However, if we were to, I don't know, happen to be nearby while you were undergoing some fleet maneuvers for practice, then surely you wouldn't be directly colluding with us."
Yeah, when you try to even send a message to get a meeting with people, they're like gone. They're out on maneuvers somewhere. Basically, you guys are like toxic. No one wants to get near you.
Yeah. Okay.
Added to your fleet is Tessa Fairwind's Luck, and Arronax's and Demian's The Devil's Own. You also gain the power of the Master of Gales, his attendant Druid army, and Gales' like ability to manipulate the weather.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, yeah, what about the chick that came with us? What, did she come with us?
You're gonna have to be way
I'm
more specific.
I'm trying to
than-
make the one that helped us back on the island with the prison break and stuff.
You're
Sure,
talking
well,
about Barnabas Harrigan, second in command.
Yeah, she became our also ally. That's our Pat. I guess. Then she
Yeah,
flies in the rest of
Adelita
the-
Della Rosso.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is sailing with you with her
Okay,
3 squadrons.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Oh, was Sammy able to regenerate the sorcerer from Barnabas Harrigan's
Sindara Quinn is that powerful, but she needs a reason and a sizable donation before she does something like that.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought regeneration was a 9th level spell for clerics.
No.
You might
It's,
be
it's
right.
lower.
I
It's
thought
like
it was
7th. It's like 6th or 7th.
She can't cast 7th level spells.
Because
wanna
it's
say
7th
it's-
level for druids, but 9th level.
It's
for-
7th level for clerics, so she's not capable of casting it.
What level is it for
Okay.
druids?
It's a 9th level druid spell.
Oh, okay, it was backwards. Sammy's like, talk to me afterwards. I might be able to fix this, maybe. Because she's only at 6th level. I'm not
Where's
sure
your
when this
hippie
campaign-
friend? Maybe he could cast it.
Harrison is like 7th to 8th level, and not in terms of spells. Like, that's his actual level. Remember, he's like 13 years old in human years.
Yeah. That's why I was like, are you old enough
But
to drink? What
he's-
is age to drink?
He's definitely a 20th level hippie. I mean, he's got that down. It's awesome.
So, when you arrive in Drenchport, it is, as it always is, perpetually downpouring in gray. As the weather control of Master of the Gales has left it. There's a flurry of activity as the druid police that normally turn into animals and watch over the island have all withdrawn their policing force, and so you would normally expect violent crime to go up, especially with thousands and thousands of sailors in port. But Tessa Fairwind's kind of fleet police end up taking over the city for a little while, And things remain fairly calm, even though this is basically going to be the largest fleet battle in a century.
Now I get like a private talk with Asha Dimion, like I guess during these days.
Yeah, so where are you meeting Aaron X?
I'm meeting him like on his ship, I guess.
Okay, you're meeting him on the Tyrannus.
Yes.
So Aaron X is like expecting you when you show up and has some like documents on the table with your name written on it in Infernal. He says, "Aces, good to see you."
I wanted to apologize if I was very tenacious in that meeting. It just boils my blood how they've been treating you lately. And
Yes,
to just
well,
rub it in their face so hard just felt so good. It's not becoming of a lord to act in that behavior, and I apologize, sir.
yes, exactly. I'm afraid that you aren't going to be able to be a lord under me anymore.
Why is that, my lord?
So he looks around the room and just kind of shrugs and pushes some papers over towards you and says, "The current political situation, well, I can see the way the winds are shifting. It wouldn't be proper for me to have you as one of my lords. I'm releasing control of the Blue Islands directly to you. They are poor and pathetic land. I need them not."
His motive?
Yeah, you can sense motive this.
He's not. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to state why I'm sense moting.
He
He's not
doesn't
really being
self-serve.
forthcoming, so it's like, is there more? Like, I know,
Yeah, he's trying to like imply things to you that are obviously political in motivation, but he doesn't want to say it out loud.
yes.
Yeah.
He seems
And-
really eager for you to sign these papers, and
And-
he's obviously full of shit when he's like, "Yeah, I don't want the Blue Islands. They're dumb and stupid."
Okay, can I like read over the papers real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I need an intelligence check if you want to interpret what's going on. In general, even the papers themselves, there's nothing more out of them than just like forfeiture of your status as a Lord of Hell's Harbor.
Okay.
Basically, it still recognizes you as the owner of the islands, but you will no longer be part of like, or you'll no longer be part of the Hell's Harbor lordship, and nor will you answer directly to Aaron X and Demian anymore.
Independent landowner, man. That's good.
Did you just nat 20 in that intelligence roll?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
Nice.
So, putting together with things you've heard on your telepathic bond, things you've heard whispered around, and with what Aranax is doing here, he's suspecting that Scourge is going to end up being the next Hurricane King, and it would be super improper for you to owe loyalty to him when he owes loyalty to Scourge. There would
Which
be
makes
like
sense, yeah.
yeah, there would be a circular relationship between the three of you that would have you be out of place.
A political love
Because
triangle.
you would be both above him and below him at the same
Yeah.
time as his
And-
viceroy.
And could cause him serious problems.
Yeah.
Yes, I smile and I take his offer and I offer a handshake and thank him for everything he has done for me. And don't worry, if anybody mess with you, if I happens to be viceroy, you know who to talk to.
So he just shakes your hand and says, "Viceroy." He's talking about viceroyship. I don't
Oh,
hear
yeah.
you, Viceroy.
You're gonna be a pirate lord.
Okay, if you say so. And I give him the hearty handshake and I bring him real close. Anybody talk dirty after this, I am totally gonna murder their face. Like after this, it's like, oh, Hell Harbor's like, no, you just see them get assassinated in the night by spells.
All right. So I think we should take our break here and then come back with the Battle for Drenchport. Although I guess maybe we might be calling it the first Battle for Drenchport. We'll find out afterwards.
You never know what's gonna go down with this part.
Yeah, so we'll be back in about 8 minutes for another 2 hours for this, the first episode of Book 6.